Well, hello family, we're back to look at the Hudson H9 after a 2,000 round review. I already gave you my unboxing kind of initial comments, so if you've yet to check out that video, check out that video. Before you watch this one, I'll give you some time. So I assumed you've watched that video, now you've picked up watching this, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about my experiences with the Hudson H9. There's one of my experiences. All right, so before we really get into kind of my experiences, I want to talk to you first about the things that I love about the Hudson H9. So first and foremost, the trigger. The trigger is probably one of the sweetest triggers I've ever felt in my entire life when it comes to a striker fired gun. This is like, it's still a 4.5 pound pull, but it's just there's so little of what's going on that it makes it not seem 4.5 pounds. It makes it seem like it's 3, but it is 4.5 pounds. I put a weight gauge on it to pull it back, and it showed me the number, and it was consistently at 4.5 pounds. But the amount of distance that the trigger has to travel, very little. So of course that helps us with our brains and pressing the trigger and ensuring that we don't move the gun before the gun goes off, because we have a shorter distance to press the trigger. It's straight back into the rear of the gun. It's not on a fulcrum like Glocks are, so there's no a very less likely of chance that you're going to do anything else but press the trigger straight back into the rear and give pressure straight back in the rear of the gun. Now obviously you can have poor fundamentals and push left or right, but that's the gist of it. Obviously, another thing that I love about this gun is the low bore axis. I mean, goodness gracious, it's got to have the lowest bore axis on the market, meaning that the lower that the gun sits into my wrist, the less perceived felt recoil. Well, really, the recoil is still there. So there's still recoil that's coming. It's just in a different form. Most guns have a snap where the front end of the muzzle comes up, but because the guide rod assembly sits lower, and because the bore axis is lower, there's more of a thump that the gun has as opposed to a snap that the gun has. So the gun is designed so that the shooter can have considerable amounts of leverage over the pistol, and that is helpful. So one of the things that I absolutely love about the Hudson is its ability to be reloaded. The way that these magazines go in, these all aluminum or steel, I don't even know what they are, they go into the gun. There's no hang-ups like with other polymer guns. Have you ever, true or false statement, I've reloaded a gun, and as I was reloading it, I got it jammed up, hanged up, whatever, and the magazine was like, blip, went out of my hand. Well, I don't know why, but this gun is just really easy. The mag well and the magazines, very, very nice. The magazines are really stiff, to as you push rounds down in there, but the way and ease to reload this gun on the fly is so, in my mind, easy. But then we get into another problem. Another thing that I love about this gun is its ability to help the shooter stay on target at a great distance. We're at 15 yards on a mini silhouette. We're at 15 yards on a mini silhouette. Pretty darn quick. Guys, there's many more things I love about this gun. I love the weight of the gun. I love its heft. I love its recoil impulse. I love the way that when you depress the magazine release, the mags fall out. There are so many things that I like about this gun, but we have to talk about the negatives. And to do that, I'm going to bring on my friend, Abe Peterson. So Abe, come on here and join us and share with us a little bit about what the negatives, the things you don't like about the pistol. Okay. Hello, the Ooby-Dooby. My name is Abraham Jedediah Peterson. I'm 92 years old. I've fathered 84 children with 54 different women, all of them which were lovely. The women, not all of the children. And I am a survivor of 8 different types of cancer and the gonosypha herpes. but unfortunately that will stay with me for a very long time. Back in my day, before the people of Hudson's granddaddies were even born, I was stacking bodies 8 feet high of those Nazis. Anywho, what was I saying? Let us talk about how bad the Hudson H9 is. In fact, it is so bad, no one should ever buy this gun. But we are going to rename the Hudson piece of crap. Oh yes, very quick indeed. I'm as nimble as a cat. Listen, young lady, please put down the firearm. I'm just an old man. Would you please be merciful to an old man? Well, let us now talk candidly about the Hudson piece of crap. Essentially, it was when we did our initial review that only after 500 rounds, the guide rod assembly started to unscrew itself. You see, the guide rod assembly, the guide rod is screwed into the frame here, which is a good idea. The problem is that as you shoot it, the gun wants to disassemble itself and unscrew. Well, as it unscrews itself, the spring gets weaker. And as it gets weaker, the slide does not have enough energy to go forward. So that's why you're having all of those failure to feeds. So Hudson contacted True Exodus, and they told him, hey, you can solve your problem by putting a little red Loctite on it. Well, True Exodus did that indeed. But would you believe it if we told you that after only 250 more rounds, it walked itself out again? So, True Exodus, a very humble man, came to the conclusion that maybe he was just a retard and had to go to a gunsmith to have it done. So he went to his local gunsmith to have it assembled properly with the red Loctite. After 250 more rounds, it walked itself out again. So, one of the fundamental principles of having a good handgun is to make sure that the gun doesn't want to decide to come apart as you shoot it. Now, I tell you, my trusty 1911 never decided that it wanted to come apart as I was killing the Nazis back in World War II. So you see, when it comes to a handgun, reliability is everything. And if the handgun has 39 failure to feeds in 2,000 rounds, that's a problem. And when a company says something like, oh, you gotta take some red Loctite and put it on your guard right assembly, it leaves me with the conclusion of, why are you selling me a product that doesn't work? You put red Loctite on it. That is not my job. But even when we went and gone and done it, would you believe it, that the gun will still unwork itself? Now, many of you may be thinking, well, what type of ammo have Abe and True Exodus been using? We've used all kinds. Defense rounds, everything ranging from the Federal Hydra-Shock to the Federal HST to the Lehigh Defense Extreme Penetrator and Extreme Defense round. And would you believe it? Those worked just fine. But when it came to Reman ammo, White Box Winchester, when it came to Tula,
when it came to, and you name it, a lot of times we had the failure to feed off the first rack and round, and as we would be shooting it, it would get into that failure to feed or failure to go into battery, however you look at it. Now we are very sorry to also announce that we are not the only people that have experienced the Hudson crap problem. Oh no, a lot of people have messaged True Exodus on the Instagrammy and have let him know that they have experienced the same correspondence with Hudson and the same problems, that even though they'd put some red Loctite on it, the gun still decided to not work. Now, we don't have the exact figure, but anywhere between 8 and 9 people have said the same thing of what I'm experiencing. I will say that one of the things that a lot of people have been saying on the interwebs is that the Hudson shoots low. That is hogwash. It does not shoot low. These people are merely horrible shooters, and they should take handgun classes. Oh look, same problem. So we give it a little tip-tap. Let's see if all what those hipsters say, those Tide Pod eating, gin wires, whatever they do, snorters of condoms. Let us see if we can hit from this distance. Oh my, I can't even see the target from this far away. Yes, you see, it shoots so low that it went right into the ground, and it didn't hit the target at all. Nope, that's not what happened. Those people are simply retarded, and they cannot shoot. Well, I hoped you enjoyed the negative aspects that I was able to say about the Hudson piece of crap. Now we are handing it back over to the man, the myth, the legend, the one that all the ladies want to take home to the mothers, True Exodus.
Wow, Abe was a pretty savage on that, but he's a sassy old man. He's got the goddess of her blades, the hemorrhoids. He's very upset at just life and living right now. He's only got 8 months to live. So I will try to make up and say, Hudson, I think that you all have a great start to a great gun. But the issue is that it doesn't want to work. So if it doesn't want to work, it can't be considered reliable. And if it's not reliable, I'm not going to carry the firearm. For $1,190 or whatever it's supposed to be, it needs to be taken. It needs to be the whole guide rod assembly. The whole fix needs to be fixed. But yeah, that's just that. So you're gonna ask me, should you go out and buy a Hudson H9? And I'm gonna say nope. Wait till the bugs get worked out. Wait till another 2,000 round review, in which I'm gonna try to buy another one as they progress. I'm gonna try to work on this one to make sure the Loctite stays. I don't know if I got a JB welded or whatever it has, but 2,000 rounds, no cleaning, still feels really smooth. No cleaning at all, no lubrication or cleaning, just straight up. But the guide rod is the only issue. So hold fast, stay the course. True Exodus and Abe Peterson out.